We're back here at the NRA National Firearms Museum. I'm with Phil Schreier, Senior Curator here at the NFM. And Phil, it's time for another installment of the Curator's Corner. I see something in your hands. What do you have for us this week?
I have the gun I've been waiting for all my life.
Uh-oh. Tell us, please. I'm excited. I'm always excited to do these. I'm extra excited.
You know, ever since I saw Josie Wales back in '76, I've been in love with Colt Walker revolvers. And the museum can finally say, after 76 years of being, you know, in Washington in the suburbs, we finally have a Colt Walker revolver.
Wow, that is great news.
I mean, we've had the Josie Wales guns. We've had the rubber ones, the real ones, the cartridge ones, the percussion ones. We've had counterfeit Walkers. But this is the first time in the history of the National Firearms Museum we are so thrilled and proud to present to the public a genuine, original Colt Walker revolver.
So tell us a little bit about the firearm itself and then how this particular one got to the museum here.
Well, the Walker is considered the ultimate Colt collectible. If it weren't for the Colt Walker revolver and the contract that this, that came from this, we wouldn't know Colt's name today. We wouldn't know it any better than, say, Collier or any of the other guys that had revolver patents that never went anywhere.
Right. Boy, did this go somewhere.
Absolutely. The neat story about this gun starts in Florida in 1838. Sam Walker, from what we now call Beltsville, Maryland, just literally right around the Beltway from here, went to Florida to fight the Seminoles with his brother James. And while they were down there, they used some of Colt's new patent model Patterson revolvers and rifle carbines. They liked the fact that they were repeaters, that they could shoot more than one shot without reloading them.
Right.
Walker met Colt, got in contact with them, took some Pattersons with him to Texas. After that war, became a famous Texas Ranger. During one memorable battle, Walker was holed up with Jack Coffee Hayes against some 80 Comanches, and with their Colt Pattersons, they held them off and won the battle. When the Mexican-American War broke out, Walker was given a blank check and told to outfit 1,000 men of the U.S. Mounted Rifles. Actually 1,000 guns for 500 men.
Whoa. And
so he was going to give each one of them a pair of these revolvers. And he wrote to Colt and he said, I want 1,000 of your guns, but let's beef up the old Patterson that we used in Florida. Let's make it 6-shot instead of 5. Let's make it 44 caliber instead of 31 or 36. Let's put a loading lever on the gun and a trigger guard. And by the way, I like this as a front sight and drew a blade instead of the little bead, you know, that had been on the Pattersons. And he said, build the gun to these specs and send me 1,000 of them. Guess what? Colt went in business when that letter showed up. He had been bankrupt for years.
Oh my. He
was working on selling submarine mines to the War Department, and at various carnivals he was selling shots of nitrous oxide or laughing gas for a nickel a hit. So he gets his letter from Walker and he says, 1,000 guns, I'll pay you on delivery. He's like, I'm in business again.
Yeah.
But Walker didn't know that.
Oh.
So the great thing about this gun is Colt said he needs 1,000 of these fast. I have no factory, but Eli Whitney over in Whitneyville, Connecticut's got a factory. Whitney looks at the gun and says, the only way to get this done fast is to produce it all on machines. Very little hand fitting or tooling. Do it all on machines, make it completely out of interchangeable parts. We can get it to them in 6 months.
Jeez.
And so it was the first product in the history of the world completely done on interchangeable parts. This is what begins the Industrial Revolution, not only for America, but for the entire world.
And through happenstance.
Through happenstance.
Had he known he was out of business, this would never happen. Had he not been bankrupt, that would never happen.
Yeah, if he had gone to the internet site for Colt and saw page not updated since 1838, he'd have gone, oh, okay.
Wow.
But instead he just sent that letter with a 3-cent postage on it, and and found out he was out of business. Or he would have found out, but Colt just kind of bluffed his way along. Whitney makes the gun. Colt changes the world with Whitney in the factory. You know, Simeon North and John Hall and Whitney had all been toying with Thomas Blanchard and these guys that were making things from interchangeable parts. First thing, beginning to end, all interchangeable.
Wow.
And you know what? That 1,000-gun contract continues to this day. Colt Defense, Colt Military, still supplying the United States military ever since 1847 with firearms to defend our freedom.
Wow.
And this particular gun came from our great friend Bob Sadler down in South Carolina. He and his dad, both great gun collectors, real fantastic gentlemen. Bob's dad's passed on now, but Bob has a collection of his own that's just outrageously awesome, and very kind and generous of him to loan us this gun. The very first Walker in the history of the National Firearms Museum on display for an indefinite period of time. So we're very excited.
You better get here and see that. And how do they get here and see that, Phil?
They get here by coming to us off the Interstate 66 in Fairfax, Virginia. We're open 7 days a week, 9:30 to 5. Free admission, plenty of parking. If you can't get on the interstate, see us on the internet at nramuseum.org.
Phil, thank you. Once again, a great treasure for a great museum. Thank you for this segment of the Curator's Corner.
Thank you, and thank you, Bob Sadler.